Hello my beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverly and it is lovely to see you today. In this video we're going to be talking about my life with chronic migraines, so grab a cup of tea, let's get to it. So I think if you're here watching this video you probably know what migraines are, so I'm not going to go through the whole what is a migraine kind of explanation, although I can do a video about that if you would like in the future. Just let me know down in the comments. But today we're going to be talking more about my personal journey, and I've not really done this before, like a personal journey about each of my illnesses. So if you would like to know how I've experienced all my illnesses throughout my life, definitely let me know down in the comments down below. Any other topics or things you want to hear about, let me know. But today we're talking about migraines. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Let's get to it, shall we? So my life with migraines started when I turned into a teenager and got my periods. So every month on probably the first day of my periods I would get a horrific migraine. It would usually, like the usual suspects would be there. So I'd have visual disturbances, feeling a little bit off kilter and faint, fatigue, feeling just really grotty, head banging, and I would be sick everywhere. It was lovely. I never went to the doctors about it, never really talked about it, because I remember when my mum told me about periods, she was a bit like, they're horrible and you have them for most of your life. And so I expected them to be painful, I expected it to be this horrible thing, and so I don't think we ever really went to the doctors about it. It was just like, oh, she gets migraines with hers. Carry on. And I'm not saying that to put my mum down or to say my mum didn't care, because she very much did, but women are more or less brought up believing that our periods are going to be horrible, and if they are horrible then we're kind of like, okay, well, people are right about that, let's carry on. It's not a thing where we're meant to feel like we should be going to the doctors, or sometimes even if we do go to the doctors we can be pushed away and told that, you know, it's just your period, get on with it. So I didn't really do anything with my periods, migraines, and I kind of grew out of it. By the time I was like 17, 18, that had stopped and I was no longer struggling with that, and so I kind of forgot about it till I was writing this little plan down in my notebook, and I was like, you know what, actually I did have migraines back in the day and it was horrible. Then when I got to university, my migraines came back. I studied to be a nurse, and the stress of doing schoolwork and working as a nurse, because we would do placements in the hospital or in the community, and those two things together really made me feel ill. I would often get migraines, and at one point they were like every week, and I was getting into trouble because you can't have that much time off. Like, you know, you have to do so many days worth of placements and so many days worth of study, and if you're constantly having to miss work because of migraines or because of illness, there didn't used to be any kind, I mean, we're talking in the late 90s, there wasn't really much backup, or, you know, oh, you're chronically ill. Not like there is today. And so it's kind of like, well, you need to just buck up and come into work anyway. I didn't know it at the time, but that was my first indicator that I was getting sick. My first indicator that the illness that I'd been born with, and the illness that I was going to, you know, EDS, and the illness that I was going on to get, fibromyalgia, they were starting to rear their heads because of how much stress I was under and how much I was just miserable. Basically, I hated everything about my life at that time, and I was very depressed and I was under a lot of stress, and I really struggled. And so it was the first indicator of something wrong. I went to the doctors with them. At one time I went into hospital, like A&E, because I couldn't feel the one side of my body, and I was really ill, and like I thought I'd had a stroke. I honestly did. What's interesting is they were really rude to me. They just shoved me in this dark room for like 3 hours on my own. Like, nobody came and checked on me, and then someone came in and said, do you feel better? It was a migraine. Okay, see you later. Like, that was it. They did not really care. So I never went back again. But what's interesting is that experience of that migraine being down the left side of my body, that's where I first experienced symptoms. And in fact, even when I was a baby, I had trouble on the left side of my body. So that's always been where my illnesses have kind of centered. So that I found really interesting to think back on. Yeah, it was the first indicator of chronic illness to me. And as soon as I stopped working, because basically I lost my job because I couldn't do the job, I couldn't walk properly, and you can't be a nurse if you dragging your leg behind you and unable to do much. So I lost my job. I had to move back home. I got a few jobs after that, but it was just obvious that I was no longer able to work. To me, migraines have always had this horrible memory of, oh yeah, this is how it all started. This is how it all began. So I do struggle. If I get a migraine now, I often think, oh, is it going to get worse now? It triggers like these fears inside me. But yeah, those kind of settled down a lot when I moved back home and started taking care of myself a bit better. I didn't work anymore, so I could kind of relax and take care of myself a little bit better. And it was at this time that my migraines kind of went, and they went for a good, like, I'd say 20 years. They just weren't really a part of my life. I'd occasionally get one, but they came back later on. So in the last, say, 10, 15 years, migraines have come back. So a few years ago, I was having a migraine once a week again, and I was really struggling with them. And I went to see my doctor, and he referred me to a specialist who started doing Botox, not buttocks, Botox into my scalp. So he would do an injection like right here behind my ear and one right here, and it worked really well. I had it, I think he did a couple up here as well, if I remember right. These ones were horrible because it's right by your ear, and I could hear the needle scraping against the bone. Not good. It was really, really difficult. I didn't enjoy getting those injections, but they did work. When I went back the second time to have them done again, my husband was with me this time, and when I had them, they were fine. We were all talking and everything. He was like talking about getting me in the next time. I stood up, we walked outside, and I collapsed. I don't know why, but my body just went like shut down. I fainted. I don't remember a couple of hours after that. I just basically had to lie on this bed for a few hours and drink some water, and he basically said, yeah, I don't think we should do these again. But I was quite lucky because the migraines settled down after that. I don't know if my body was like, whoa, if we have migraines, we have to do this. Let's not have them again, which I think is really funny. Like my brain just going, let's not do that again because we're going to have injections. Nope, I'm out. So they kind of settled down again. And then over the last couple of years, I have been struggling with my sight. I've been having a lot of double vision, and I've been having times where I've been reading and there's been a blind spot. So I went to have my eyes checked the other day, and they said that I had completely the wrong glasses. They're going to do a lot of changes, like I'm going to have a prism in there and things like that. And the reason I was having missing areas is because of my chronic fatigue. Working with the fact that my glasses were not working meant that I was getting focal or silent migraines, I think she called them, just in my eyes. So I wasn't getting any auras, I wasn't getting any other indicators other than a bit like, you know, if you're like a flash camera goes off in your face and you can't see the bit in the middle. It was a bit like that for a long time. When I was tired, or if I'd been reading too much. I read a lot because I study witchcraft, and I'm constantly reading books about witchcraft and stuff. If you enjoy witchcraft or you'd like to learn more about witchcraft, I do videos about that, usually on a Friday, but Mondays are about disability. So I hope that these glasses, I'm going to get them in a couple of weeks, and I'm really, really hoping that that will help my migraines and therefore help my chronic fatigue, which has been through the roof recently. It's been so frustrating. So many times I've wanted to do a video, or I've wanted to record, or I've wanted to write a blog post, and I've not been able to, and I've found it so frustrating. And I think that's the main thing with my migraines, is they work a lot alongside my chronic fatigue. I will be doing a blog post. The link to my blog is down below. I will be doing a blog post on Wednesday about triggers, and more about like how to avoid triggers and things that you can do to help if you do have migraines. So if you would like to not miss that, you can subscribe. If you go onto my blog, down the side you'll see a little thing that says subscribe. You don't have to pay or anything, that's completely free, and you'll just get an email that tells you when I upload. Another way, if you don't want to miss any of my content, will be to go to Ko-fi, which is also linked down below, and you can either follow me there, which is free, or if you want to contribute to my creating of videos and my blog posts, you can pay a little bit of money each month. It's like buy me a coffee, so it's like £3 a month, and that will help me kind of keep the channel going. No pressure, but that's another option as well, and there I will tell you when I upload. And I'm thinking of adding in a Discord for people who tip me money on there. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not yet. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. If you want to support my channel and if you enjoy my content, I don't make any money, I don't get any money for doing this, I do it all for free, so let me know if that's something that you will be interested in. But migraines are incredibly debilitating and tiring, and they are just awful, and I really want to say that if you are ignoring that pain, if you're ignoring that problem because you feel like no one's going to understand, or if people don't understand, like people just think, oh, everyone has headache, it's not the same thing. And I think it's so important that if you are a migraine sufferer, that we try and reach out to other migraine sufferers and kind of offer support to one another. Sorry, my dog is barking like a mad thing. But yeah, I think that's so important, and that's why I make these videos. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed learning a little bit more about how it's affected my life, definitely let me know by leaving it a cheeky little like down below so that I can bring more like this to the channel in future. Definitely let me know down in the comments as well if you would like to know about my own personal journey with each of my other illnesses, because that is definitely something that I could bring to the channel in future. Just definitely let me know, because I want to bring content that you're going to enjoy, so the comments is where to do it. And last but not least, don't forget, if you enjoy my content, if you like my face, head down below and hit that subscribe button. We are in the thousands now, I can't believe it. You are all so welcome, and if you would love to know when I upload, if you want to become part of the Butterfly family, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell so you always know when I upload. I'm usually here Mondays and Fridays, my health permitting. I always do my very best to be here with you every week, twice a week. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, that you got something out of it, that you learned something. Head down into the comments, make sure that you're chit-chatting with each other, getting to know other people who have the same illnesses as you. I think that's so important. Don't forget to stick around, check out this playlist I put together for you. I would absolutely love that. Take care everyone, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!